I was born on the streets. I survived in these streets. My whole life was a gamble. So we threw bones on these streets. No love at home. So we found love in the streets. Love for my brothers who had the same struggle in these streets. I think my pop was a creep because he crept away. Leaving a young boy in the hood to find his way with no map, no compass. How could I find my way? Days are dark, but I don't care to see the light of day. I want blood money. I'm like a vampire on this block. I'm dodging bullets every day as rapid fire on this block. But I don't care if I get shot. I feel like shooting myself. See, I used to flirt with death until I started feeling myself. Got 2 Macs on the shelf and an abundance of wealth. You know, cash is like vitamins in the hood. It betters your health. Now I'm deep in these streets and I got a crew with me. We all sick in these streets, man. They got the flu with me. Look death in the eyes and asking what he want with me. You can take me or leave me. I never fear what confronts me. But that was just a blunt, see. Most got heart when they waste it. That's why they drink 151 with a cranberry to chase it. Never could face life in a sober state of mind. So we drink liquor and smoke weed till we out of our minds. Do a buck down the street driving you out of your mind. Commit a crime so heinous. You think we out of our minds like gonna be clap, clap, pull back, blowing you out of your mind. 16,000 murders? America is out of their minds. So they make laws and new jails to lock us out of our mind because most don't see it till they run out of time. Like Stanley Tookie Williams, 25 years confined. No mercy or redemption couldn't save him combined. He went from gang war to mentor. Hell gates to heaven doors. Street talk with metaphors. Poetry is winning this mental war. So I'm going to spit it till I air my last breath. This is my birth. My life. My freedom. My death. Thank you. At the age of 19, I committed the worst crime that I ever could commit, or any man could. I killed another young man on the streets of Philadelphia. I was arrested and sent to jail, charged with murder, attempted murder on a witness, aggravated assault, conspiracy, weapons charge. They were seeking the death penalty. Fortunately, when I went to the preliminary hearing, the judge dropped a few of the cases and charges. Now I was facing life in prison. I was sent to the worst prison in Pennsylvania, Holmesburg Prison. They call it the Terror Dome. And best believe it lived up to its reputation. I was sent there, and that year it had over 560 murders. When you walk into this prison, all you hear is a roaring sound from all the inmates that are in there. For murder, rape, robbery, conspiracy, theft, kidnapping, everything. Jail was overcrowded. I was put right in that same environment I just left, with all the same people. So I adapted to it real quick. I knew a few guys from the street in there, and I had a reputation a little bit on the street. So they knew me. I was never considered a tough guy. I was a serious guy all the time. And I pretty adapt to that environment after a week or 2 or a month later on. You know, I would get on the phone, call my family, check on my girl, because at the time she was pregnant, 2 weeks when I got locked up. I wanted to make sure she was okay and the baby was okay. And I wanted to have a child so bad, only because I had low expectancies on my life. I didn't think I would live past 20. And I wanted something that my mother could remember me by. The greatest gift, which is a child. Hoping it's a boy. But I was back on the block, doing my thing, and just, you know, trying to adapt and adjust to that environment, playing cards and checkers on the block. Same mentality, laughing and joking. Got into fights, participated in the riots on the block, cursed out the guards, everything else. It was rough. It was rugged. It was serious. People got murdered. Young boys got raped. Some people committed suicide. It's a real serious place to be. A real bad environment. Only strong could survive. And that was real. 9 months later, I called home. My sister answered the phone. She said, guess what? I said, what? She said, you're a father. I said, my father? What is it? Girl or boy? She said, you had a boy. It's a son. He looked just like you. I said, oh man, when y'all bringing him up to see me? She said, we're going to bring him up this week. The week came. The day came. The visit came. I went out there. I seen my son. I picked him up. I held him in my arms. Looked at his features. Make sure he's mine. But looked at his features. Like, he got eyes just like me. Smile, laughing, pretty curly hair, little chocolate little boy. It's like, yeah, that's me. I just looked at him and said, now I got something to live for. You know, in my mind, I was saying this. I was just smiling the whole time on the visit. You know, I can't wait to really be with him, walking the streets with him, talking to him, educating him about street life and everything else and how to stay away from it. Because I wanted him to avoid my pitfall, my mistakes. In order to do that, I knew I had to change my life. So I went back to my cell that night and I reflected on my youth years when I was 8 and 9 years old, when I was a good kid, just wanted to have fun and play. Then how I became this dangerous kid as a teenager, hustler, drug dealer, toting guns and getting in shootouts, robberies and stuff like that. And I found the why. Understood why I became that way. So I began to forgive myself. And I started reflecting on my life and knowing that I needed to take off all these layers that I had on me of ignorance. And I started looking at the possibilities of me going home one day and becoming a father to my son. I knew I had to learn a lot, so I went back and got my GED in the school. I started reading, started studying. I knew the key to success was to keep educating yourself, K-E-Y-S. So I read plenty of books, and I read many magazines and newspapers. And I watched the TV and listened to songs on the radio and watched movies. And I was picking up pieces from here and here, building myself up, attaching them to me. And I can recall one time I watched the movie, the Bruce Willis movie, Die Hard. And while I was watching Die Hard, the terrorist told Bruce Willis, he said, you're acting off emotions without using the benefit of your intellect. I said, wow. I said, that's me. Then I read a book and it said that where there's a will, there's a way. I said, wow, that's me. I need that. Then I heard a speech, a man talked about a man who fails to plan is a man who plans to fail. I said, wow, that was strong. That's me. And I was taking everything that had pertained to life and growth and development. And I started reading a dictionary. I stopped using profanity. I mean, I turned the state penitentiary into Penn State. I believe that I could change. I believe that I can be better. I knew that I was better than this environment. Unlike the old man who was walking around sweeping the floor in the afternoon or at nighttime, I didn't want to be that person. I knew something else was for me. I just had to put my hands on it and touch it. And when I start reading and studying, I start falling into purpose. My purpose in life, I start seeing it. Was to educate myself. I had to go through the sacrifice to learn that extreme transformation was possible. Because people don't believe that a person of the streets and of that mentality and that violent mindset, the criminal mindset, could change to become better in one lifetime. So I began to change, strengthen myself just off of knowledge. And I started looking into myself for different resources. When I was younger, I was creative, I was a writer, I was an artist, You know, so I started writing poetry. I started doing everything, and that poetry was a reflection of myself. It was a mirror that I was looking into every day. I write poetry, and every day I get up, I would start thinking about what my day would be like. And every day I start reflecting. And I said, every year while I'm in this jail, these 10 years, I'm going to reflect on the past year and see if I can make the next year better. And I've been doing it ever since I left the prison in 1998. And when I left the prison, I knew that the only thing that I did know was how to hustle and sell drugs. And I didn't want to go back to that path. I didn't want to fail myself and fail my son by returning back, reverting back to my old ways. So I had to be convicted in my heart, not in the courtroom, but in my heart, that I was going to change, and I was determined to do that. I was determined to become the best version of myself, and I knew it was possible. And I found my purpose. And I went back to my old neighborhood, and I started educating the youth. And I started educating adults about how to become the best version of yourself through self-education. So you have to think every day. You have to reflect on your life every year and see how much you have grown. Check on your areas of weakness and strength. And those areas of weakness are only areas that need to be improved. And you'll grow from there. And before you know it, you start seeing growth and development and create a whole new future for yourself. I had to do that. I had to create my reality. I had to create a future for myself. I couldn't look back at the life back then and see what I can do once I got out of jail, because all that was negative stuff. So I had to have a vision and a dream for myself and create my future. I become the speaker and teaching life, which is needed so much in our world. So I want you to do this exercise with me. Let's repeat after me. What you think is what you say. What you say is what you do. What you do becomes habit. What becomes habit becomes your character. And your character determines your future. We all need change. Right? So we all need change. We understand we need change. So this day forth, we can start speaking it into existence. We need change. I ain't talking about pennies, nickels, quarters, dimes. I'm talking about changing hearts, changing minds, changing the name signs on these dotted lines, because I swear there's a problem here. Neighborhoods full of fear, witness stands filled with empty chairs, schools unprepared, so it's best that we prepare to work together as one. With the police commissioner, TEDx talks, and the mayor. Sees a new day, new year, new ideas to share and talk about amongst us, so we can put the blindfold back over the eyes of Lady Justice so she can't see race, wealth, or status. I mean, we living in utter madness, and the thugs got better apparatus than the police. And I ain't got to search Iraq and Iran to find weapons of mass destruction, because I can find them right here in these American streets. And it gets deep. If you stare down the walls of City Hall long enough, you might see William Penn weep. Because this was not what the country was built for. And the Quakers didn't build the first penitentiary to become a revolving door. And there's more. We need better programs for ex-offenders to become productive citizens. They can't get a job at your job or his job, then we need to help them create their own small businesses. This is what the business is: creating a safer city, stronger committees, and better town watch in our communities. So we can first police ourselves, reach ourselves, and teach ourselves that we don't have to live in vain or die in shame, because this is all about change. So here's a penny for your thoughts, a nickel for a kiss, a dime if you tell us that you love us. America, you have at least 16 cents to spare. Thank you.